Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
And so now we're going to move on to the entrepreneurial characteristics.
Yeah.
And so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to talk about born versus made.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you were probably born an entrepreneur versus your kids who probably weren't, who try to become one. I don't know if they are or aren't, but do you think that you're either born one or do you think you can be made into one?
Yeah, I don't think it's a either or situation. I think it's, more of a both and.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I was born. I mean, I have some talent, right?
Yeah.
I have some art, but I don't think that I don't think that I have a talent of an 8-foot high jumper, but maybe a 7'2" high jumper. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's national class, but it's not world class. I don't think I'm world class in regards to just the art that I have behind me, right? Now, I think there's certain things that I have that could be world class.
Yeah.
Right? I see trouble, and I'm able to fix it really quickly. And then I got to practice that a lot as a coach. You got 30 seconds, dude.
Right.
You got to do it in real time. You don't have time to come back and go, I mean, you get halftime, but it's not very long, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be in the moment. So I think that, and let's back up a little further too.
Yeah.
So you right now, the audience right this second, me right this second, we'll triangulate the data, right? We are a collection of our genetics / DNA. We are a collection of our environment, how we were raised and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
We are a collection, if you're lucky enough, of what I call a God lens.
Okay.
Right? That you happen to have a God lens that you look at.
Yeah.
Over here in the secular world, if you have great parents, you have a good moral lens.
Right.
But you have this God lens. And then the other two are what I call circumstances and experience, and experiences. So, circumstance, and I'll flip them. The experience says, I'm going to experience this probably over and over and over again. Right? So if my dad's an alcoholic and he comes home and he beats me, I'm gonna over and over and over again. Right? If I have a mom that comes home every day and hugs the crap out of me and tells me how great I am and love every day, that's, over and over again.
Yeah.
More habitual, right?
Yeah.
Customary. Then you have these things over here that I call circumstances, which don't always have to be negative, but typically they are, which is more of like a one and done. So I always bring up the Mothers Against Drunk Driving lady. I don't know her.
Right.
I don't know if she's a type A whack job personality that's going to go out and solve the world's problems.
Yeah.
But whether she was like my wife, who's like Mother Teresa and chilled, right? I go like this. Oh, okay, you got 3 heartbeats in a minute, right?
Yeah.
She's just chilled. She's the opposite of me. I'm hyper. She's chilled, whatever.
Yeah.
You go mess with her kids. She'll make me look like a little punk, right? So those are circumstances, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, somebody runs over your kid or something like that. You could go to a whole nother level. And to me, no matter what the reason is, you could still be effective.
Right.
You with me on that?
Yes. Got it. And so, you talked also a little bit about this one. You said that you can either put your pinky in.
Yeah.
To be, if you're the employee, that, or you could just jump full force.
Yeah.
What do you think most of the people probably do that are employees that are becoming one? Do you think that they jump in full force and don't really think it through, or what do you think?
I don't think they do it.
No, they don't do it at all.
You remember? I think it was called Collateral, with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
So Jamie Foxx is a taxi cab driver, and Tom Cruise was a straight up killer. I think most people are like Jamie Foxx. So he would pull down his little, stop the sun visor thing, whatever, and he'd have this limousine business that he'd been thinking about for years, 7 years, 8 years, 9, 10 years, whatever, right? And he's the ready guy.
Yeah.
Ready, aim, or just ready. On your marks, get set, but never fired, never, go, right?
Right.
And then Tom Cruise comes in. He doesn't do any of that. Doesn't plan. He's going to start shooting people.
Yeah.
Well, at the end, Jamie Foxx gets the message, I better start shooting folks or this guy's going to kill me.
Yeah.
So he just starts shooting,
Right.
right? And so I think that's the biggest problem is that people are too afraid, whether they're an employee or whatever, wherever they're at, in sports, as a mom, as a whatever, to try something different.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, when you try something different, then, which is part of my individual system, collect data on that,
Yeah.
figure out what you like, and then celebrate. Figure out what you don't like and adjust or make pivots. And then if you're undecided about it, start questioning to make it one of the two.
Right.
But I think that just most people don't.
Got it. And so then that leads perfectly into, what do you think holds them back from acting?
I think it's fear, but not. I think that even if it's 50.1, 49.9, I think it's fear of success more than fear of failure. You know, most people just say it's fear of failure. I don't think that's the case. I think that people are infinitely powerful and smart and talented that beyond we can't even understand.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's projected that we use 10% of our brain.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we're pretty smart. We're pretty smart people,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've been to the moon and beyond.
Right.
Right, I still can't figure out even when the landlines were there, how can I talk to you in Europe through this little line?
Yeah.
Let alone now, like that just whacks me out. Now it doesn't because I got a God lens, and if the angels are 50 billion light years away,
Yeah.
and they can get here like that, so I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's still kind of
Different.
yeah,
Weird.
right. Or just something simple. You turn this, you know, your faucet, you pull it to the right and it's cold, you pull it to the left and it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Right.
And we're using 10 and 11%.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And so let's just think about, you know, the old boiling point. I think it's like 212,
Yeah.
the water, and then or at 211, it's not boiling. So just, you know, that, or like, what about your world? 1/10, 1/100th of a second.
Yeah.
Difference between gold and nothing. So when you take a look at that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, we have such this amazing power, but we're too chicken crap. We're too afraid to be able to just go do it, right? And if your go do it is put your little pinky in, then go do it that way.
Yeah.
If yours is my idiot son, then you do not a front flip or a back flip, but a gainer off the roof into a pool that's 90 yards away. Then, you know, don't ever do that again, but go do that. And if you're somewhere in between,
Yeah.
then go do that. But do something.
Yeah.
Don't be Jamie Foxx and wait 2 hours, or for you 8 years or 10 years and do nothing,
Yeah.
and then go, oh, I better start shooting people.
Right.
And that's why I mean the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Well, then this major thing happens. Now they start shooting, you know, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, you know, with risk, right? I mean,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, there's risk involved.
Yeah.
Do you think, let's say we take risk out, no risk.
Yeah.
Do you think that there would be more people that would become
Oh,
entrepreneurs?
absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely. There'd be more of a bunch of stuff. There would be people that, you know, potentially, and I say potentially, that could make Michael Jordan and LeBron look silly on the basketball court. Right? I bet you there's a lot of players in those New York parks that could flat white the street with them. I know they are one-on-one. Right? Now, I don't know, man. Michael, he's got such a hard head, but you get my point.
Yeah.
But they don't understand team ball, or they're too busy, you know, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But think about that, right? There's guys that can jump up and touch the top of that backboard. That's sick.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is very sick.
Yeah, I mean, that's sick,
Yeah.
right?
So then, what do you think? I mean, obviously, what separates people from being it is that, you know, they outweigh the risks or whatever. But do you think that is a chemical imbalance in your head or anything like? You know what I mean? I mean, what do you think separates you other than obviously the separate? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let me call my son real quick and see why he's doing gainers off of the thing. Right. I mean, but I know that he had a natural tendency to enjoy that. That's why he liked the pole vault.
Yeah.
Right? He liked to be upside down. He had good spatial awareness. So there's that art or that talent side. And so, you know, I don't know. Is it the chicken before the egg or the cart before the horse? Is it that he had all these these talents and stuff, and that helped him with his mentality? Or did he have this mentality and helped him with, I don't know.
Right.
I just know the guy could do things, getting upside down that most people couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, if you look, and the thing that really excites me are the people that basically, which is a dumb statement, how can you go up and beyond how good your talent level is? But I mean, I do think that people do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I dig those people. You
Right.
know, hey, I'm excited for LeBron and Michael Jordan. They're ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Mahomes, these guys, they're great. But what about like the Steve Taskers of the world? You don't even probably know who Steve Tasker
No.
is. He's a little old idiot. I think his son played, but anyway, he's Chad Beebe he's a little itty bitty guy.
Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah, and he was one of the greatest special teamers of all time. Or they did that movie on the Philadelphia Eagles guy.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg played him up
Yeah.
there. Yeah, Invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I dig those kind of people.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can be LeBron. And I think that's why, like, if you talk about Curry, the reason people gravitate towards Curry is because he just looks like a normal dude walking the street.
He seems like you could be him.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
Right.
Until he starts raining threes from like the fifth row and then the
Right.
ninth row, right?
Yeah.
But he's a normal looking guy.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing with, comic action figures.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man, the reason people like Spider-Man, he was a normal dude.
Right.
And then he got bit by a spider and he kind of became a little abnormal.
Right.
Superman's cool, but he came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But Peter Parker, he just was like hanging out with his grandma, gets bit, and now, but what about the people that don't have any of that? Like Batman. He didn't get bit by no spider.
Yeah.
Now, he did have money, so he was able to get a lot of gadgets. But the point being is, those are the people that excite me, and those are the people out there in entrepreneur land that there's a bunch of them out there that are waiting, and if they continue to go ready, set, or bump set, and all those types of words, and don't spike or don't go or whatever, then think about what the world's missing out on, because they can be amazing.
Right. Absolutely.
Hey, can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
So we were in our after-school program, and I don't cry, so you guys can kiss it. But I do have allergies sometimes, right?
Yes.
So we talk about underpriced. We get this guy that was doing choreography for, like, I don't know, American Idol. I mean, he was like a big time.
Yeah.
I forget why he had to come down here, but this guy was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does this middle school production. And me and my mom were there. She was the program director. I'm the manager.
Okay.
And we're watching this gal dance, dude.
Middle school girl?
Middle school girl.
Okay.
And me and my mom, well, she was in tears. I wasn't. But, dude, I mean, we're literally almost in tears.
Yeah.
And it was the most mesmerizing. Like when you see a thing in the wind that's dancing, like a paper. This chick was freaky, dude. And you were just like, you can't look at anybody else. 50 people. We couldn't get our eyes off of her. So at the end, we said, hey, you're really good, and this is what'll well you up. Her and this amazing amount, tears just start falling. She goes, I didn't know I was a dancer.
Wow.
Yeah. She didn't even know. So if we didn't give her that opportunity, she may never have known.
Right.
How many people out there have some invention, have some innovation, have some business, some idea, some whatever that they could do that can help people beyond measure,
Right.
and they're sitting doing nothing about it? I just, that's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Just go do it. Who cares if you fall down? Get back up.
We can always learn.
Yeah, I went up 10 spots and maybe about 10 spots in middle school. I was probably the 14th best looking dude around, even at my size. I went up to the best looking girl and I said, I want you to be my girlfriend. She laughed at me and so I went to the second best looking girl in the school,
probably her best friend,
which was her best friend, and I said, and she laughed at me. The third one was a capital B word, so I didn't go talk to her. So the fourth one, which was friends with all these two, she goes, yeah, I think you're cute. I get out, take off my shoes.
Yeah.
I go, man, I just went up 10 places, right? I got the fourth best looking, right? So I just went out and did it.
Yeah.
So I learned at a very young age, like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Matter of fact, it kind of ticks me off, right?
Yeah.
So I just think that entrepreneur land, or moms or grandpa, sisters, go do something about it.
Right. Makes sense. Talking about characteristics and different things like that, I think, and maybe not, maybe this is just a personal opinion, but I think something that's underlooked or overlooked, however you'd say that, is the brainstorming process.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a very intensive one.
Yeah.
So could you share that with the audience and what you do and how you view things?
Yeah, very intensive but simple. Like we do everything.
Yeah.
Comprehensive and simple.
Okay.
That's kind of our mantra, actually.
All right.
So whether you call it a brain dump or a brainstorm or whatever,
Yeah.
Whatever the topic is, if something comes up, how to make this shower thing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or let's do the shower thing. So I'm just going to list everything I can think about.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter whether it's stupid or not. They say there's no dumb questions.
Yeah.
The only one that you don't ask.
Right.
So you're throwing out everything. So I'm going shower head. I'm going, wet. I'm towel. I'm just naming all this stuff.
Yeah.
So let's say I get to about 40 items and I start to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go to row 2, the second step.
Okay.
Or what I'd call maybe a column 2.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, let me take something over here and let me start putting like stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there's soap, there's conditioner, there's I'm just sorry about this, but I got to vent. I'm taking a shower the other day. I don't just take a shower and sing because I can't sing. I'm looking around. 47 hair products my wife has. 47 hair products. I do everything with one, lotion. I think I even brush my teeth with lotion. I wipe my butt with it. I do everything with it.
It's your best friend.
Yeah, it is my best friend. It's at the dollar store, right? My wife's got all these, potions and hotions and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, sidebar.
Yes.
Bird walk is what we call them. So what was the doggone question again?
You had me. Oh, your brainstorm process.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the first one. Just mind up, get it all out. The second one is that you start categorizing around that.
Okay.
Okay. The third one is what you do is you take that category, in each of those categories, and some of them may be stragglers. Might be orphans over here. They don't really fit into something. And then what you do is you go category by category, and you start to mind dump again.
Okay.
Right? And then what you do is you go to the last column and you prioritize how that may look or whatever the case may be.
Right, got it.
So when you go through that, at the end, I came up with 3 or 4 different ideas on how I could beat the problem I was having with my mirror.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so am I going to make that a product? Probably. I don't know. I don't know if I'm passionate enough about it, but the idea is there. But if not, then I'll hand it off to somebody who would like to do that.
Yeah.
Collect my 5% and move on.
Right. Absolutely. And so now, talking about your, brainstorm process,
Yeah.
your brain dump process,
Yeah.
that would lead into you being creative,
Yeah.
right? So what are, I don't even know how I want to ask this, but being creative, what does that look like? Because being creative can be multiple things, whether, like you said, dancing, painting, or, different things like that. So what is being creative?
Well, I think, like everything else in life, I think that there's, informal and formal.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that I'm creative just walking down the street.
Uh-huh.
Because why? Because I see trouble.
Yeah.
Like I'm walking down the garage the other day and I see 17 things that are trouble. Whether it was a crack, whether it was the freaking weed growing through the deal,
Yeah.
And so each time I'm unless I'm doing something else that's really important.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how can I beat this sucker, right?
Got it.
How can I beat this? What can I invent? What can I do? So on and so forth, so on. So to me, that's kind of informally being creative.
Yeah.
Then you have the formal process, which I believe starts with the brainstorming or the mind dumping, right?
Yeah.
But both of them really start typically with this troubled area or something that's really good and you just want to enhance it.
Okay.
Right? So I always use the analogy about Tide, the detergent.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure Tide, the detergent, was just fine when in its original configuration.
Yes.
But now there's new Tide with bleach, new Tide. So you could take something that's really good to it. It doesn't always have to be the negative. And then, of course, you can go everywhere in between.
Yes.
So I think there's the informal and there's the formal. And then I think there's the art and the science. And I think that a lot of times people think creativity has to look like I thought. right? I thought, well, it has to look like dance or painting or drawing or music. No. Being creative, you can figure out a lot of different ways to be creative. And, you know, during COVID, and we're getting ready to come out of this post-COVID, have you seen some of those, some of the creativity? Like those two kids, they were on the NFL Network, where he was doing that back around and he caught that ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those two kids are on there, right? Or, you know, you see some of these moms that are that do creative things with how to give their kid a bath, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, typically you think, okay, well, you're gonna, you know, give your like we didn't have those little plastic tubs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My mom put me in the sink until I was big enough to get into the. But somebody thought, do I really want that little kid's butt where my dishes go? And they said no, and so they made that little plastic thing that kind of fit. Yeah. Like, to me, I dig that stuff. Or the straw. Like, I want to know who invented the straw.
Oh, the straw. Got it.
Yeah, not to the point where I'm going to go research because I really don't care.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I like you. Right? Because it makes it easier. So, yeah, because when I don't drink with the straw, it winds up all over me.
Right.
So I'm like, I like the guy that did the straw.
Yeah.
The guy that did the umbrella, I'm like, I don't drink much, so whatever, and it's foo-foo.
Yeah.
But the guy that did the straw, I'm like, cool. But hey, the umbrella looks good too.
Right.
And I'm glad he's making a bazillion on it.
Yeah.
Good for both of you. But the straw guy, I really like it.
Got it. And so, you know, right, speaking of straws and umbrellas, they obviously were creative, brainstormed, had their idea.
Yeah.
From there, where do you go?
So I have a system.
I
have a system. Imagine that. So I have a 3-pronged system.
Okay.
So I say charting the course, which is all of that, brainstorming.
Yeah.
Thoughts, thinking, ideas, that whole process.
Yeah.
And then if it makes sense, I'll make a decision or a choice to go to the next one, which I call obvious outlining.
Okay.
And so I'll outline around that. Okay. So, which kind of runs a parallel with my individual system. Mindset. Right. Get organized, which is kind of the outline.
Yeah.
Right? It makes sense. And then the third thing is we call it prototype packaging.
Okay.
And that's usually where my pay grid stops.
Okay.
So I'll do a lot of charting and you know, outlining.
Yeah.
And the third step is what I call prototype packaging. And that is making the idea come to fruition. So like our last one, or not our last one, but one of our last ones, the last one will be the shower idea that I got this morning in my head. But anyway, we did lesson plans with sports cards. So sports cards are getting popular. I love sports cards when I was a younger guy.
Yeah.
And so I have a curriculum specialist. She's the best. She is the Michael Jordan of curriculum. Yeah, she's like, dude, she's woo, right? But she's as smart as you can be, and she does. I mean, I think she's created 3,000 lesson plans for us.
Wow, that's a lot of lesson plans.
Yeah, but anyway, so there's this idea, and so I kind of say it's the vertical steps, and then it goes into this horizontal, which is like a conveyor belt, right?
Yeah.
You know, like Ford Motor Company. I got to spray, I got to do the thing, put in the radio, and so that's what she's able to do. And then we package it. At the end of that, we just take it to friends and family. Go, what do you think? And they go, yeah, I don't know. And then we take it to market, and we go, what do you guys think?
Right.
And the people always speak.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's as simple as it was. So we were able to do that from A to Z in less than a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it is, and it's not, because it's a simple system.
Right.
Cards, right? I said, it's not the sports cards. What's the auxiliaries?
Right.
Lesson plans, plastics, this, that. That's what I always like to look at, because I want to be different.
Yeah.
I think entrepreneurs want to be different. Yeah. If everybody else was, like I say, back in the day, driving a Mercedes, I don't want to be like you.
Right.
So, how many 30-year-old dudes in the financial services business were driving Jaguars? The big long one, too. Right? I was like, I'm going to make a statement.
Yeah.
Right? And so, to me, that's what's fun, is that just plug it in and you just paint by numbers, dude.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and/or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
so situated.